Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you about the most exclusive nightclub in the city. It sits on a corner downtown. No signs, no advertising, just a red door and a man named Marcus. Marcus is the bouncer, and Marcus trusts no one. You could be on the list. Marcus checks your ID. You could be a regular who comes every week. Marcus checks your ID. You could be the owner's best friend. Marcus checks your ID. You could be the owner. Marcus checks your ID. I'm Marcus's best friend. Marcus still checks my ID. But it doesn't stop here. You get past Marcus, there's another checkpoint at the VIP section. They check you again. You are in the VIP section, there's another check at the private lounge. They verify you again. Different doors, different checks, always watching, always verifying. Why? Because Marcus knows something most people forget. This nightclub, this bouncer, this is zero trust architecture, and it is how every modern network should be protected. See, for decades, network security works like this. Get past the front door, the firewall, and you're trusted. You can go anywhere, access everything. But here is the problem. What if you shouldn't be inside? What if your credentials were stolen? What if you're an insider threat? What if your device is compromised? Traditional security said if you made it past the perimeter, you're probably fine. Zero Trust says, I don't care how you got here. Prove you belong every single time. Marcus doesn't trust you because you walked through the front door. He verifies you at the front door, at the VIP entrance, at the private lounge, and everywhere in between. Zero Trust is the network equivalent of Marcus. Never trust, always verify, everywhere, every time, everyone. Let me show you how this actually works. Zero Trust architecture has four core principles. Think of them as Marcus's rulebook. The first principle is verify explicitly. Always authenticate and authorize based on all available data points. Who are you? What device are you using? Where are you connecting from? What time is it? Is this behavior normal for you? In practice, you log into your company network from your laptop at 9 a.m. from Chicago. Verified. Same credentials try to log in from Moscow at 3 a.m. Denied. That doesn't match your pattern. The second principle is least privilege access. Users get the minimum access required to do their job. Nothing more. Just because you are inside the building doesn't mean you can open every door. In practice, an accountant accessing financial systems? Approved. That same accountant accessing the source code repository? Denied. They don't need it. Marcus doesn't give everyone a VIP wristband just because they got past the front door. The third principle is to assume breach. Design your security as if attackers are already inside your network. Because statistically, they probably are. Segment your network. Monitor everything. Detect anomalies. Limit lateral movement. In practice, if an attacker compromises one server, they can't automatically access others. Every connection requires verification. Every request is scrutinized. The fourth principle is continuous verification. This is Marcus's specialty. You don't get verified once and trusted forever. Your access is continuously evaluated based on changing context. Your device was secured this morning, but now it is showing signs of malware. Access revoked immediately. You were authorized an hour ago, but now you are attempting unusual actions. Additional verification required. Verify explicitly. List privilege. Assume breach. Continuous verification. That is zero trust. Now, here's what's interesting about Marcus and zero trust. They are not paranoid, they are realistic. Think about how trust works in the real world. You don't meet someone for the first time and trust them unconditionally forever. You build trust through consistent behavior over time, and even then, that trust is adjusted based on context. You trust your friend with your secrets, but if they show up at your house at 3 a.m. acting strangely, you ask questions. You trust your coworker with project files, but if they suddenly start downloading thousands of documents, you investigate. Zero trust isn't a rejection of trust. It is an honest acknowledgement of how trust actually works. Trust isn't binary. It is not on or off. It is continuous, context dependent, and always being evaluated. Marcos knows this. Zero Trust knows this. And now, so do you. So remember, the front door isn't the end of security. It is just the beginning. Even Marcos checks Marcos. That is Zero Trust. File closed. Next case, the code check heist.